Dun, 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 dun. Was that the Olympics? Did it get you?
Yeah.
All right, it was good. It was good. I couldn't finish it because I couldn't remember the next note. Dun, 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 dun. So is that an NBC thing or is that an Olympic thing?
No, I think that's an NBC thing.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they played the official Olympic theme the other night, but I don't remember how it went.
I guess I've never really paid attention to it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a national. I don't know if that's the right word to use.
I know what word you're going to use too.
I was going to say nationalist.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right word. Patriot?
I'll call it patriotic. I'm amazingly patriotic when it comes to the Olympics.
Okay.
I'm amazingly patriotic in general, but
By the way, I'm JP.
oh, I'm Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we can get to that. And this
Right.
is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast.
It is.
So we are going to talk a little bit Olympics.
Yeah.
We're going to kind of do a Monday Fun Day episode, but we will talk disc golf.
Yeah.
Because there is some fun stuff to talk about.
Absolutely.
We had a disc golf festival that went on. And we'll do some thought-provoking questions as well.
Yeah. All right.
What was I in the middle of before you rudely interrupted
Sorry.
me with your name?
Olympics. Well, you were talking about being a nationalist.
Oh, yes. Being a nationalist,
No,
okay.
patriotic.
So I think in general, but with the Olympics, very much so. I don't even like watching anything unless the U.S. is in it.
Okay.
You know, like there's just like I was watching handball and it was like zero interest to me because it was Korea and Slovakia.
Oh, sure.
And I was just like, I don't care. I think it's neat, but I don't care.
It is kind of a cool sport.
It is a neat sport.
I remember playing it in high school a little bit, like gym class, because you essentially have an indoor soccer court, and then there's like a 3-point line,
Yep.
and you can pass. I think you can dribble.
You can dribble. You can only take 3 steps.
Yep.
And you can only hold the ball for 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's only certain areas you can shoot from. And I don't know.
Yeah.
And the balls are really sticky.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all I know. And they throw it really hard.
Yeah.
I was even watching the females play. Like, it just amazes me. They're pretty like aggressive too. Like you can hit each other and
Yeah.
stuff.
You can kind of like check each other a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
But you had no interest in it.
I had interest, but it wasn't like I wasn't rooting for
Oh,
anybody.
right. Yeah.
You know,
there's no
like-
rooting interest. Absolutely. Yeah.
But then I watched the men's basketball.
Oh my God.
You had they started out. I'm like, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, they did not start out great. But then all of a sudden, Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you got it. You're back.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant really played his pants off.
Dude,
today.
lights out.
Yeah.
He comes in, first shot, just Drano 3. Like, and he put up, 18 points or something like that?
He had 21 in the first half, and he was 8 for 8 from the field with 4 for 4 from 3-point line,
Yeah.
or something to start the game.
And to give perspective, he didn't even come in until 2 minutes left in the half. First quarter.
Yeah, and that was it. And he didn't play any of the
Practice.
Any of the practice rounds. He was sick or injury.
I had a leg injury.
Leg injury. That's what it was. Yeah. So kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, anyways, when I was watching it, I was getting like anxiety and like I was playing in it, that whole oh, why did you guys step it up? You know?
Right.
I care less about basketball. In reality, but for some reason, they all of a sudden have the flag on there, and I'm like, why are we winning? What is wrong with you guys?
Well, there's a point too in the game where Jokic was in, and he just started playing well, and they got close, within 8, I think. It's maybe the closest they got. I'm like, oh, but when he was on the bench,
they were up by 12 at one point.
Oh no! Oh, okay. I was before winning,
after
that, they got back and they got close.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh,
they came within
man.
2 in the third quarter.
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I saw 8.
That's where Jokic and Jovic.
There's Jovic, and Jokic.
Yeah.
Or something like it's all crazy. They're all with 1 or 2 letters
Just
off
like
of
one,
each other.
yep.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch though. That I was invested in. And then I started watching. So this is how stupid it is. Like it says, "Hey, Olympic judo."
Yeah.
Turn it on. It's like equestrian cross country.
Alyssa was watching that this afternoon a little bit, or this morning. I was like, "What are you watching?" She's like, "Horse." I was like, "Is it horse jumping?" She's like, "Kind of."
Yeah.
I was like, "It's like horse cross country or something." It was like going through this park and like water jumps and all
It's
this
like
other
the
stuff.
steeplechase for horses almost.
Yes, that's kind of what it was.
And so here's a question. Is the horse the athlete or the rider?
Oh,
I'm going to make some people mad here.
that's a really interesting question.
Because horse people are weird people. I have some good friends that are horse people, so hopefully you're listening to this.
It's one of those relationships between the animal and the rider. It's like the rider is the person that has to, I guess, train the horse to do what it's meant to do.
Yeah, there has to be a bond there for sure.
Yeah,
and I want to start off by saying anything I talk about during the Olympic times, because we'll have two more episodes while the Olympics are still going on.
Yeah.
Anything I say, if I'm critical, I'd like you to know I can't do any of it. Nor can I do it better than them for sure. but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be critical of it.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting because like I feel like as a rider you have to be physically strong to be on the horse.
Oh, for sure.
You know, like a jockey. A jockey is like your leg muscles, your upper body to hold on and do the things. Yeah, that takes a lot of effort.
And there is, appropriate body movements to keep balance and help the horse and, that type of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely you have to be a very skilled athlete or a very skilled equestrian rider person. How do you say that?
Yeah, I mean.
You'd be an equestrian, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. There's skill involved. Let's say that.
Right.
But I still kind of put it like, I feel like the horse is the athlete, though.
It kind of.
Yeah, because they're the ones doing the things.
Sure.
This person is just along for the ride, pun intended, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But anyways, so for anyone that wins a gold riding a horse, it's your horse's gold.
Right.
But from what I understand, they get it as a team. So like,
yeah, I think so.
The horse actually gets.
That makes sense.
Is credited with it too. So that's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So we want to get into fun questions and then end with disc golf.
Maybe. Oh, here's an interesting.
Wait.
Well, Olympic question. How far away do you think disc golf is from being an Olympic sport?
Infinity.
Really?
I do. Because the only way the Olympic disc golf can become an Olympic sport if it is in. Ooh, okay, I'll qualify that. The only way disc golf could be an Olympic sport if it is one of the 3 sports that the hosting country can pick to put in there. So every year there's a set number of events and sports that the Olympic Committee decides. And then from there, the host country can pick 3 events to put in.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure it's 3.
Okay.
But they can pick events. I think that's the only way that you would see disc golf in the Olympics, is if one of the hosting countries decides to put it in there.
Sure. Because I think there's a lot of stipulations to be actually becoming considered.
Yeah, and it's not from any sport. Like you can't pick like baton. Well, I don't know.
Like, so the IOC, like somebody had brought this up on, I think it was Stacey Roundley actually asked this question. She was kind of surprised that at this point, ultimate hasn't been an Olympic sport yet, and disc golf. She's like, it's we're growing, whatever. So the Olympic Committee actually recognizes WIFDIF. That's a big step. Like you have to have an organization that's recognized by the IOC.
Right.
So the next thing I said was like, okay, what do you have to do? I Googled it. It's like, what do you have to do? So the sport itself must be practiced by men in at least 75 countries and on 4 continents.
Okay.
So like I would say definitely Europe, USA, Australia, and Asia, like Japan, they're one, like Mexico, that's kind of like Central North America. I would say that's decent, but probably not the amount of countries that you need.
Okay.
And then women, and it has to be in no fewer than 40 countries and on 3 continents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still looking at a lot more countries to adopt it.
Yeah. And that just means that you qualify to be able to do it.
Right. Because I was thinking about it too. It's like, watching the opening ceremonies, like Estonia, huge disc golf. They sent like less than 10 athletes total to the Olympics for whatever varying sport they were going for. I was like, wow. There's plenty of countries. And then there's the U.S. with like close to 600 athletes, qualifying for events.
Yeah. They like had their own boat, giant boat.
And then the other thing, the ultimate question is that Ultimate really has there's no, it's self-regulated. There's no referees or anything. So that's really hard. Like, you have to, like, Olympic sports, you kind of have to have officials or judges there.
Yeah.
You just can't have players doing it themselves. So
that's a lot of what disc golf is too.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's player called. But interesting enough, they still do, handball is self-regulated as well to a point.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Olympic version, but I know like the international version, like the ones they play like World Cups or whatever there, it is kind of self-regulated.
Oh, that's interesting.
There are refs on the court to do like time violations, fouls.
Yeah.
But like if there's any like,
well,
I don't know enough about it.
That's more regulated than you would think. Yeah.
Yep. But it's funny. I think knowing that, how you can even be put on the list to be put in the Olympics, we still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Well, but
I'm sure there's some funding.
Is starting to,
right. I'm sure there's some funding questions too, like getting into the IOC.
Big money.
Yeah.
Big money. So then once you get like approved by the IOC, then the next step is actually, having the majority of the voting body to say, hey, this is a sport we want to put in. It was like snowboarding and those type of things. That was kind of one of the most recent ones that were put in.
Skateboarding, a couple of Olympics ago. I mean, breakdancing's making its first Olympics this year. Horse dancing is also an Olympic sport.
Horse dancing?
Horse dancing.
What about hobby horsing? Have they gotten to that yet?
No, I don't think so.
Because that's an athletic sport. Dude, so I think it's really funny and ridiculous. But those people can jump.
Oh, yeah. Riding the...
Dude, they ride the hobby horse and they do the, like, what do they call it? The course, like, inside, it's pretty impressive. Not going to lie. I mean, it's a little weird, but... or a lot weird, but... so I think that's the case. I think if a place like Estonia, Finland, like, where we have these big, like, per capita... like disc golf countries.
I think that
possibility.
Somebody had mentioned that. It's like it would have to be a European country to do it, to like be like, hey, we want to submit disc golf as
right.
Because like Americans are just too lazy to do it.
Right.
kind of.
Yeah. Like that's what they say. Yeah.
I mean, to think about it, or there's just too many sports that, and they're like, well, you guys would probably just dominate it anyway. Yeah. I mean, look at the presidents.
Yeah.
Not to say that, but it's true. Like United, like it's just because we have more athletes going that we have more chances for our teams and people to compete and do
There's
stuff.
Still a chance. They haven't picked all the sports for LA yet.
Right.
Like, there's a chance, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Can you imagine the makeover La Mirada would get?
Oh my goodness.
That'd be one of the bestest golf courses ever.
Even flag football. Flag football is an Olympic sport now.
Yeah. Well, but it's like the 4-on-4, right? Or 5-on-5?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's neat. That's pretty cool. So, if there was a sport in the Olympics, I mean, we talked about this, I think, like 2 years ago when the Winter Olympics were on, but what would be the sport that you think you could be an Olympic athlete at?
Oh, being an Olympic athlete at?
Yeah.
Oh, God. In my state now?
Just say any time in your life.
Oh, any time in my life.
Like, and it could be just as this off-wall sport, but like, what's the sport you think, like, man, if I would have picked that up, I could have been an Olympic athlete? This takes a bit of hubris, but...
Part of me thinks long jump.
Okay.
Just because I used to do it in high school, I feel like if I like really concentrate and like really trained, there's a chance.
There's a possibility.
Yeah. That I could at least like go to like a qualifying or something. Like if you like got like a top level coach or someone to like really push you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the only one that like realistically, the only one would have been like trap or skeet.
Oh, yeah.
like Olympic trap or
Sure.
skeet. Trap more likely than skeet,
Yeah.
but trap for sure. The only other sport that I've always thought about, and is trampolining.
Yeah, right.
Like, I feel like if I would have had a trampoline like that in my backyard,
Oh, yeah.
like, no chance.
Yeah.
They would have been like gold medals all day. I would have been the Michael Phelps of trampolining.
Right on. I feel like inline skating back in the day.
What happened to blading? Like, what?
I think it's kind of making a comeback.
Is it really?
I'm in just for like nostalgia reasons, I'm in a rollerblading group on Facebook. And, like, it's just funny to see, like, not funny, but I'm like, man, I used to do this in the 90s so much, or whatever. And yeah, my mic's really messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like it. It's kind of fun just to see people like posting videos or like, hey, I did this, I bought these skates, like all that. And
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, it's funny because I don't remember where my daughter loves secondhand stores. And we were in a secondhand store and I walked up and I saw like the K2s with like the 2 wheels, the grind plates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I was like, shut up. And I was like with the tiny wheels on it.
Oh,
Everything.
yeah.
I was like,
Rocker
no way.
setup, anti-rocker setup. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was like, I was like, I bet you somebody like spent a ton of money on these things back in the day.
Oh, yeah,
Like
for
I remember
sure.
it was like $200-300 for it, and then you would have to like, what do they call the truck? Is that the truck, the rail or whatever that you put the wheels in?
Not a truck. It's
Blade.
a chassis, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was pretty cool. So, but I was never any good at it. I tried it for a little bit, just like I tried skating for a little bit. Like I could ollie, but that was it.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
It was all I could ever do. And then like with blading, all of a sudden I just be on my back. Like,
Oh, you're talking, yeah, skateboarding, it's a truck. Like a chassis would be for like inline skating, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the inline skating, like, I tried. One of my buddies, like when I first started BMXing, was a huge blader.
Yeah.
And remember, he had like the Junkos that covered up the entire blade.
yeah,
you know,
yeah, exactly,
You'd have to like hike him up before he did something. But
This reminds me of something. Okay. I'll show you on Facebook or Instagram later or something.
okay.
Oh, I forgot what the guy's name is.
But I tried him once, and like I said, I just like probably for about a week and a half, I was just constantly on my back.
Yeah.
You know, just my balance over blade like skates. But I could like quad skate, like take me to the roller ring.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right on. Right on.
I was the guy.
Starbase
Wasn't
204 back in the day in Sturgeon Bay. It was awesome.
Hot Wheels.
Oh,
So I have somebody who works for me used to run that place.
really?
Yeah, Susan. What's
Okay.
her last name back then? But anyway, she ran the place.
Oh, dang.
It was really fun. So
Cool.
she would tell me all these stories about people. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's that. So good to know that you think you could be an Olympic long jumper. Would you think you would be a medalist or just?
Oh, no, definitely. No, like, I don't think I could make it to the Olympics, but I would definitely try my best to, like, be at a qualifying event or something.
Okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So give yourself a chance to at
Oh,
least
yeah.
do it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was going to make a inappropriate joke about a different type of Olympics that I could have definitely made, but
Oh, boy.
you ever seen that movie with Johnny Knoxville where he makes a Special Olympics?
I think I have.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, man.
So inappropriate, but so hilarious. So, all right, here is my random question for you. So I have 3 of them, but I'm going to do one, and we'll see how it goes, where it goes.
All right.
What is the most sexy name you can think of? What is the least sexy name you can think of?
For what?
A person.
Oh, my God. I don't. Huh.
What's the most sexy name you can think of?
Alyssa.
Good answer. Good answer. But no. You got to pick something else. She knows that you think she's the sexiest person alive.
Man.
Like just hearing the name. You know, there's people like when you hear Karen, what do you think? Right? When you hear Chad, what do you think? Right?
Well, I know somebody in the chat, yeah.
I know I have a really good friend. And he listens to this every once in a while, so you're welcome. So like, and then like, what do you think? Like Destiny or
No.
like Cinnamon?
No.
Are those stripper names that I just?
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Coming to the stage.
Exactly. And we have Cinnamon.
Hold on, I'm on phone, my baby daddy. Like,
Can you hold my baby? I just
man.
need 15 minutes.
yeah. I don't. Gosh.
Mine's really weird.
Is it? Okay.
is.
Shoot.
It's very not sexy, but for some reason, it just gives this lure of sexy.
Huh.
I don't know if I really want to say it. So I dated a girl I dated her for a long time.
Yeah.
This is not, it's not pertaining to her, but Elizabeth.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just something weird. It's this weird thing. So all of you Elizabeths out there, congratulations. When I hear Elizabeth, I think hot. So
Yeah.
I don't know why. So
Carmen?
Carmen. Okay. Is that for a man or a woman? Or is it just a
Woman?
hot name?
Yes,
Okay.
I guess it's. I don't know.
All right.
We should Google that.
Carmen San Diego.
Yeah.
Where in the world? All right. Least sexy name.
Beatrice.
So
Beat rice.
beet rice.
Sorry if everyone.
No, the irony of it is Elijah, a friend in high school, his sister's name was Beatrice, and we called her Beet Rice. And she was about 2 years older than us. And she was actually really kind, really attractive.
Yeah.
She was a super cool girl. All right, Beet Rice. So you don't like Beatrice. So Cheyenne. It just seems like an ugly name to me. Cheyenne. So remember, I'm from
What do
South.
you got against Hawaii?
No, it's just the name Cheyenne for some reason.
Huh.
So I don't know. And it's not physically ugly, just it's an ugly person. You know what I mean? I don't know,
Yikes.
it's the girl, that's the girl in the gym when you walk in front of her camera. She's like, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" You know?
Oh, okay.
That's the
That
way
girl.
I think of it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. So there you go. That's what I was
Don't
thinking.
be a Cheyenne.
No. All right. Next one.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of which one because I'm just going to go for one more and we'll leave it alone.
All right.
What's a lie you tell yourself most often?
That I tell myself most often. Wow.
What is a lie you tell yourself most often?
Today you're going to make it to work on time.
Are you just perpetually late? But don't you kind of set your own schedule?
No, I do have I have a time that I'm supposed to report at. I'm supposed to be there at 8:30, and I will leave the house to stop, get coffee, get gas, whatever I have to do, and I always end up to be 5-10 minutes late.
Oh,
Generally, there are some days where I'm early. I'm like, hey, great, I'm here early, and then there's days where I'm perpetually weeks where I'm perpetually late.
can you start earlier if you wanted to? So if you want to start at 6 o'clock in the morning,
No, I wouldn't. I would not, because the truck doesn't even get there till 8:15.
Oh, okay.
8:30, and then there's some days where the truck comes really late. We had a day last week; it came at 9:10.
oh jeez,
And then another day, a couple weeks ago, I wasn't there till 10:15. So it was running 2 hours late, and that pushed everything way behind. We're just sitting there waiting, for mail, and people are coming in hey, I have a package that is supposed to be on the truck. We're like, it's not here. You're gonna have to come back.
it's
And,
still on the truck.
yeah, nothing's here yet.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes.
I stood in the office the other day and I listened to 2 or 3 people in a row hey, well, it says right here that it's here or it's supposed to be here, and they're like, it's not here. If it was here, you would have a slip in your box.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about that. It's somewhere, but You know?
I had a guy, there's a guy who stopped me on the road the other day. He's looking for a specific letter, and there's this thing called informed delivery where it tells you what you're supposed to be getting in the mail, and there's a caveat to it. It's like, we'll show you what you're getting, but it's not guaranteed to be in your mail that day. And something really important to him. He's like, well, it's not here yet. He's like, it was supposed to be here yesterday. I'm like, well, it's not guaranteed that's going to show. It's like, it's coming, but it's not guaranteed that's going to be here. It's like, well, all this other stuff that was in this thing, like, showed up and this didn't. I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
I give you what I have, and you didn't have it. So, sorry.
Yeah. I bet you that's very frustrating for mail carriers, is especially tracking and that type of stuff, because you seem to be the guys that, or the folks that get the most flack, you know, for it.
Well, yeah, like the other day too, a guy's like, it was a Saturday, and he's like, hey, I'm expecting a package that's supposed to be on the truck today. And he pulls up his tracking. He's like, yeah, it said it was in Oshkosh this morning at 6:30 in the morning. I was like, it's still in Oshkosh, dude. It didn't make the truck to come up to Green Bay to get to us. So you're not going to get it till Monday. He's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes.
And I get it, because like you get excited about something coming and you're like, oh, that's awesome. It's just here. Why is it sitting there for so long? You know?
Yeah. International packages, if you order something internationally, oh boy, it will sit for a while. Like it's got to clear customs, all this other stuff. And then it's a waiting game. Like I've had people, especially during Christmas, stuff will sit for 2 weeks and then it just won't move either, because there's all the other domestic packages that are getting moved faster.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and they're prioritized, I'm sure, because everything coming over. I remember my daughter ordered something off of Temu.
Yeah.
And it was like 2.5 months later she got it. Oh, wow. She even forgot about it. She's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know.
Wild.
So, yeah. The lie I tell myself every day. Man, that's like a real hard one. Like, do I want to get really like deep, or do I want to keep it kind of fun? But I think the lie that I always tell myself is that I'm going to get my stuff done. You know, like it's like, here's my list. I'm going to have a day where I can actually just focus on this list and get it done. Like, and it just never happens. Like, I'll be halfway through one project and I'll get called and 3 other projects will come up, you know, and it's just like, all right, I'll go get those done real quick. And then I'll come back to my projects, and my list just ends up being 12 miles long.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing, is like, I'm going to close myself in my office and get this done today.
Yeah.
Never happens.
It
never, ever happens.
Don't ever tell yourself you're going to crush it every day.
Why is that?
Because if you don't, like...
It's the disappointment.
Yeah. You're setting yourself up.
Yep. So I just recently...
I mean, you can, I guess, if like you're like,
oh,
really...
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like that whole shoot for the moon, because if you miss, you'll be in the stars, you know. But it's... So for me, I've just recently, probably within the last year, I've just started to like really utilize the lists.
Okay.
And the reason why is because they give me anxiety, like, and not real like tip over and have anxiety, but like it never leaves me in a good mood, because I can never finish it. Like if I see the thing, I have to finish it, you know, and I can never finish them. Okay. So it's one of those like, oh, I hate this, you know, like, so I've gotten better about it, because now I'm just like, man, it'll just go on tomorrow's to-do list, you know. So yeah. But that's it. So, want to talk disc golf real quick?
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. That's why people are listening.
Exactly. We're 30 minutes in, and we'll talk disc golf now.
Disc golf. Super.
Yeah. So, what was it? The Disc Golf Festival?
The Disc Golf. European Disc
Golf Festival. And it was, it went on. And it happened.
Yeah.
And people won. And maybe one person you thought of won, the other person probably not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, sounds like Kristen Tatar did not win.
She did not.
Which is really impressive. And she came in, what, third?
She was she finished outside of the top 5, actually. Or no, she finished eighth.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's her worst finish this year, isn't it?
I think so.
Wow. Okay. And then there was a playoff for first.
Yes.
And you can go forward with that if you'd like to.
Yep. It was between Missy Gannon and Evelina. Mm-hmm. And Missy ended up birdieing the first hole, beating Evelina.
Very
and
nice.
Evelina
Very nice.
part it. So yeah.
So there's no debate whether Evelina gave the win to Missy. It was just a straight up good win.
And like Evelina kind of came back. She had the hot round actually for today. And well, I guess they're a couple hours ahead of us. So
Right.
she had a -8 for the round, and Missy had a 6 down, and they ended up tying. So and then went into played the first hole, the 900 footer, which is awesome. That's an awesome hole.
But to start on a 900-foot hole like that is nuts. And I know I've heard complaints about starting on dinky par threes, and then I've heard complaints about starting on like a monster of a hole.
Yes.
I feel like that's a pretty good hole to start on.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a crazy hole to start on. But I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then if they hadn't, they would have gone back to, it was 1 in 18, so they just would have hopped back up and then come down and around, because it's all in front of the big like band
arena
shell
thing or whatever.
Yeah.
That 18th hole is awesome.
Yeah.
Especially throwing from up high. Those discs move a lot more than you think they do from throwing at that height.
Right.
That elevation.
Well, the crazy thing, so what's really cool, like the first tee box, so they had this, it was up in the band shell actually, like they had a stage made, there's a tunnel that the players walked out of, and it had an electric board where like their face and everything would like pop up.
Yeah.
And so they'd walk out, and the tee box was actually on top of that tunnel. So I don't know what the elevation change was, like going down, like how many feet it was or whatever. But watching coverage was like, dude, this is epic to see them throw out over that, over into the. And I don't know how wide the fairway was of the first hole, because they were clearly marked, and it was OB left, and then like kind of in a little more on the right hand side. But I was just like, dang, this is cool. I don't know how far discs were really flying. Probably like, because I think Rick definitely, like, we'll get to that because his ground was crazy, but had to be like 600 feet, like, and because he easy up shots like almost every time.
Yeah. Well, and they did a little exhibition on with doing some like CTPs on that hole too.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was so high that it didn't matter male, female. They were like all basically parking that hole, like from where they were throwing in the S. Why can I not say that word? Exhibition.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. But so congratulations to the Cannon, because she came in third last week, and then second this week, and beautiful. And then Evelina finally kind of holds it. And last week there was a debate whether Tatar won the tournament or Evelina lost it. It was one of those deals.
Yeah.
And when I look at it, I go, she won it. Like 100% she won it. And Evelina, she did fall apart, but you kind of expect that from her, right?
I guess.
She didn't do it this time. She came back charging.
Right.
But she wasn't in the lead to fall apart. So
No.
But good for her.
And then finishing in third was Heidi Lane. And she was actually tied with she was actually leading after 2 rounds. She took the first round -9, second round she was 1 under -10, but by that time Missy was kind of making a move. She was -6 the second day. And then Missy and Evelina really kind of pushed it through, and then Kristen, just disappointing first round, and she didn't shoot hot. She's even for the first round. Second round she shot -2, and then today she finished -3. So she ended up 5 down, total 5 down for tied for 8th. Silva finished 10th. Here's the top 10. It's Missy, Evelina, Heidi Lane, Annika Sten, Katie Tati, Carrie Teku, Kaidi Al-Salu.
You're carrying these things.
Yeah. Ella.
Nailed it.
Ella Hansen.
Oh, you got that one.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's got to be some crazy Swedish name, Ella Hansen. And then Silver to round up the top 10. So, I mean, there's a big field 39, Sarah Holcomb with a DNF. So she didn't.
Really? I wonder if it was a hurt or...
Yeah, I don't know the situation. But mostly European players here, is a lot of people are probably getting home, trying to get ready for Ledgestone coming up here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ledgestone, man. Yeah, and I got to say, the people... So we'll go... Are we ready to move on to MPO?
Yeah.
The people that I'm seeing at the top of the leaderboard makes my heart happy.
For MPO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me like, oh, that's what it used to be. You know, like, we saw this, like, back and forth quite a bit. So we saw with Ricky and Macbeth, we saw that at the President's Cup. They were kind of battling. You know, Macbeth was just on a different level at that point. And then European Open, like, they were both up there. You saw both of their names,
right,
which you haven't been seeing their names.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, obviously, you see both of them up there. And you see Kyle Klein, you see Gossage, Lazat, you know, Newsom, Burr's still up there. Matty O's up there. You know, I mean, so you got Tristan Tanner out of nowhere.
Some name you haven't seen a lot of.
A long time since.
Yeah.
And by the way, the last time I saw him, I didn't recognize him one iota.
Haircut.
Dude, like haircut, like
everything, yeah.
Crazy cool beard, like...
Yeah. He's changed his appearance a little bit here.
Just a little bit, yeah. So, yeah. So, and then you see Conrad. Heimberg still just not doing things.
No, but he did make he made quite a jump. Oh, no, second day, I think he made quite a jump. Like, there were some big movers.
Well, Macbeth was one of them.
Yes, Macbeth was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, we saw some people, like, jump. Eric Oakley had, like, a huge... I thought I saw him here before. Oh, no, he was tied 7th after day 2. But there was a couple people I was like, okay. Like, someone had moved up, like, 34 spots. Mm-hmm. Someone else had moved up, like, 28 spots. Like, there was big jumps in day 2. And then you see people falling off. Like, James Proctor fell off day 2. Calvin fell off. Or that was round 3. So, I mean, just a lot of different people. I don't know. This was like a weird course because, like, you could make a move. Like, we saw Ricky day 1, 16 down, third highest round, tied for third highest round.
And highest rated round.
Highest rated round.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible. But, like, you look at the course, and he was just birdieing everything. He had 2 pars. He parred hole 10 and hole 14, but everything else was park jobs.
Right.
It was just insane.
Yep.
Or, like, you know, at least on, like, par 3s. Like, some of the par 3s were pretty easy, I would say.
I mean, they're, like, couple 100 feet at best. You know,
right.
Some of
them were, like, just over 300. There's a couple sub 300 holes.
Yep.
And, like, I saw some people, like, really struggle, though. Like, Nicholas Antala really struggled day 1 on the course. Like, I was shocked, like, at how he just fell apart. Like, I was like, what the heck? And then you see, like, the dichotomy between him and Ricky. I'm like, this is awesome. And this is a guy who's clearly, left Nicholas, he's like the clear number 1 European player right now.
Yep.
And you're just like, wow. Okay.
But let's also have a conversation about Wysocki's round. So he starts off as a 16. Next day he puts up a 9. Next day he puts up a 7.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that 16, like, there were a lot of players right on his heels.
Oh, yes.
So
very much so.
He played well, but I don't feel like he played.
He kind of just went
he didn't put the whole
control.
That's it.
Is what it was. Like, he felt like he had a good enough lead after round 1, and he's like, well, if I can just maintain a certain score
right
each round, I think I'm good enough. But then there was players like day 2, it was like he's got a 9 down, and then people are shooting, you know, 10, 11, and then the last round, Paul gets within 1 score of him shooting a 12 down, where Ricky's shooting
a 7 or 6.
Yeah, and same thing with Juna. He scores he's a couple of strokes behind, but he shoots a 12 down.
Right.
I mean, there's so many players that shot better rounds after Ricky's initial 16 down. So, like, but it's not like it was inconsistent. it was just like the effort. I don't know if that's really.
Yeah, like he didn't keep the pedal down.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's kind of. I mean, he did have a couple holes where it was like, okay, bogeyed 3 holes final round, bogeyed 1 hole or 2 holes second round, but then he had more pars.
Right.
So like, there's some things that were just a little off, but
does this also not make sense of Paul Macbeth's criticism back in the day when they were the guys? And Paul Macbeth's biggest criticism, Ricky, is he doesn't know how to close. He doesn't know how to keep the pedal to the metal. He doesn't, that he's not a finisher. And I'm not saying that he didn't finish because he won. So I guess that argument's kind of mute, but it still stands true. Like you throw down a 16 and then follow up with a 9 and a 7.
yeah,
Like that's 9 and a 7. You start scrolling down and that's mid 20s. When you talk about like scoring ranges, well, the 9 wasn't, but the 7 was.
yeah,
And maybe that's what it was. Maybe there was a comfort, like maybe there was a protectionist instead of like, Macbeth, if he puts down a 16, the next day he's coming out and putting down a mid-teen.
Oh, yeah,
right. It's just the way that it goes. He has that killer instinct. But it is awesome to see. So here's the question. They talked about being tied for the 3rd highest rated round. Mm-hmm. So the other 2 rounds that were higher, both at Memorial, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure both
I think so.
were at Memorial. And I think even the one that he's tied for 3rd is at Memorial. No, I think that's incorrect. I think it's at Ledgestone. I think it was the 18 down at Ledgestone. I see this as being more impressive than Macbeth's 18 at Memorial, the highest rated round ever played.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think so, at Fountain Hill. Because that's where that was played. Both of the 1 and 2 were both played at Fountain Hill.
And that's because, I think that's just because of the OB, right? That's got to be it.
It is. There's a ton because there's a ton of water, ton of OB. Yep. But they're not hard shots. It's just you got to be good. You got to be on your game to play that.
Yeah, right.
And that's where Eagle McMahon, I think he has the number 2, which is at Fountain Hill.
Yeah, that sounds
if I
right.
remember rightly. And then I think Paul has the 3rd also. I think they all are at Fountain Hill.
That could be.
Maybe. Don't quote me on this. I haven't looked it up. I don't have any stats, to show it. But I know for sure the 1st highest and the 2nd highest are both at Fountain Hill. I think this is a more impressive round than those 2.
Okay. I could see that.
So, it's just like we go back to these ratings things. Like, man, they're just screwed up.
Yeah. I will say, though, this course as well, it was designed by Seppo Payu, which I was looking at the event page, or the festival page actually, and they brought it up there. But this course actually had a lot of out of bounds painted in as well and lined. And I think
because they did have some fields that they were just. I mean, there's open fields for the most part. Yeah.
I mean, and I think due to what the grounds, festival grounds, were for the venue. There's a lot of fencing and things and all that. I don't know exactly. It's a concert area or something weird. Right. It was a cool course. There's some holes too where I was like, hole 4. It was cool. They had this corridor of trees that they threw down, but then the basket's on essentially a parking lot. Mm-hmm. I was looking at that. I was like, that's kind of an odd situation to have to throw your disc onto it was a parking lot or a gravel road. Yep. That's pavement essentially. Yep. I was like, this is the best place you could put a basket there. There's some other kind of questionable ones too that I was like, okay. I did like it. I like the park style golf a lot. I think that's fun. I think the wooded holes are just nice enough, and then you have your mixture of long and wide open holes, which are great. And I think the overall presentation too of the event, they had a cool, they had a podium at the end,
right? Yeah,
which was awesome. We had all 3 players. They had the initial, your winner, at the end of the, Ricky throwing in at the end. But then they actually had the podium finish on all the pictures of them standing on the podium with their faces and stuff on the video board behind. I don't know. There's something different about European disc golf and the way they do things.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's funny because they're still trying. is what's happening. They're still hungry. They're still trying. You have so many people that love that sport. But another thing that was kind of mentioned, and I don't remember who I heard this from, but if I remember rightly, the last couple tournaments, there were no like spectator fees. And they're in municipal parks.
Yeah.
And, you know, like just some kid going home and being like, I'm going to grab my bike and go watch disc golf.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, their dad's like, I'll go too, you know, and that's how you're getting these large crowds. I mean, they're fans for sure. I'm not degrading it by any means or minimizing it by any means.
I think they said there's like 2,500 people at European Open or something like that.
Yeah, and that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we see crowds similar to that here at some of the biggest events. But it is strange how their disc golf courses are municipal. They're very, like, in very high traffic areas. And that's Europe in general. There's not as much land. I mean, when you hear people talk about, like why all Americans need cars, until you come to America from another country, you don't quite understand. Or if you go to another country and you're like, yeah, I could be without a car here because everything's so close. And, like, I can go from one country to another country in like 2.5 hours. Like,
right. Like, you know, that was mentioned too. Like going from Nokia, Finland to Estonia takes about 2 hours. It's 80 kilometers.
Right.
You know, that's super close.
Yeah. Well, you can't even get out of Door County. You know, like you can't even get out of the county and get down to Green Bay in that amount of distance, you know, like, so it brings perspective. So when you think about stuff like that, our disc golf courses are always just like way the heck away from like bike riding distance from, you know what I mean? So it does make a big difference. And usually when we see the biggest crowds, they're in the most populated areas in the United States. So with that being said, I think that's kind of what causes a lot of the seeing the better media, seeing that the kids are near these metropolitan areas that these people love. And, you know, as a camera person or videographer or a, you know, let's see, a graphics person or something like that, like something new, budding and fun, and you're still hungry and you don't have like any experience, like why not latch onto something like this?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's the opportunity of scale, you know, like here, like people are like, I'm too good for that. I'll just go to a big city and I'll work in these, you know, companies. There, it's like, man, I need to get into the ground floor on something and I can really help this sport that I like, you know, whereas there's no money here for it. So, but it would be fun also to see what type of money European disc golf has. Yeah, right. Comparatively speaking, you know, but it is done right. It's done better, I think. Yeah, it is. So it seems that way. Another follow-up. Are you surprised Paul's had his best run here in Europe? Like finishing-wise, he's had second at Swedish Open, sixth at Krokel, and then third place here. Which Paul, when he comes to Europe, he typically gets a win. He hasn't, but these are his best finishes. Like his best finish in the U.S. was Portland, seventh, and then Music City, second. But otherwise, you know, he's scattered up and down all season. Yeah. So yes and no. Yes, I'm surprised. And he did get the win, you know, President's Cup. Like, there's some really serious stuff going on there too. Sure. But yes, I am surprised. But in the same regard, when you step back and think about it, this is the first time he has been able to focus on disc golf and only disc golf because Hannah stayed in the States. Right. She's not there with the baby. She did come for... She was there for a short while? Yeah. Okay. But this is probably the longest uninterrupted. It could be, yeah. You know, and as a dad, like if your kid's around, you're with that kid. Yeah. I mean, in my head, like that's if my kid's there, if I'm within distance of it, it's my kid's the number one priority. Yeah, right. I would assume that's how Paul is. I mean, there are some dads that aren't, but so I think this probably has something to do with it. As being a dad, that's what I say. And I think the travel's a lot less. Like he has a lot more time to spend on grounds in Europe. True. Like, he's not traveling 3 days to get to or jumping on a plane or, you know, doing that type of stuff. Like he's just like, let's go take a quick car ride. Yeah. You know? So I think there's a lot of that has stuff to do with it. And I think he's away from the foundation. He's away from he's away from like all of his responsibilities that he has back home. So maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yes, it surprises me. I'm surprised he doesn't have a win yet.
Yeah. I know. That's surprising.
Do you think he'll? So here's the other thing. Worlds is pretty darn close.
Yeah, it is.
Paul Macbeth is infamous for coming out when Worlds happens, right?
It's true.
And he sure is ramping up pretty darn well for Worlds.
Yeah.
So do you think that is like, hey, I need to get a couple months of like good solid disc golf before Worlds comes?
I would definitely think that's a top priority. Is like play your best at Worlds.
Yeah. Does it surprise you?
Knowing that he usually plays well in Europe, it's not surprising that he played well. I am kind of shocked that he didn't come away with a victory. But you look at the people now that came over this year that hadn't, like Gannon Burr, who's playing the best golf of his life. There's a lot of people that came over to Europe this year, I think, that didn't come over before.
Right.
But then you look at some people, too, that also came over that didn't play their best. Like, you know, so.
Like Calvin and Simon and.
Yeah. Like, so, I don't know.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Simon? I mean, Calvin. Is it like a travel thing for him?
It could be.
Do you think he's just like burnt out, or do you think he's just lost a little tick somewhere? Like he's got a Barkley going on?
It's strange what I've seen come from him this season. Like, I think the initial thing with like, where was it that he was, Swedish Open, right? Like he said he was going to play and then he went to Iowa. I don't know if it's that back and forth there but then there's like, you play the Preserve, then you come over Iowa. You're like, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Or is it a fact that he's in Europe and he's enjoying Europe?
It could be.
Like maybe his game is maybe secondary to experience, because this is the first time he's been over there, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe he's just taking it all in and seeing as much as he can while he's there and, getting the full experience from the locals and,
True. I mean,
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense too. I was trying to see.
But he did when you were watching the President's Cup. I think it was Simon's blog where he was like, because they do their fitting a couple hours before the.
Yes.
And he's just like, I don't know. No one else on the team was there. I was the only one there.
Right. I heard him say, yeah. Like he's like, oh, it's a pretty snazzy jacket you got on or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I was told by whoever to wake up and be here at this time, and I was the only one.
Yeah. By Euler. Yeah. Euler told me to be here at this time, and I was here at this time.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else?
Wait, did you ever mention Door Disc Golf?
Oh, I haven't yet. No. That's
because you've been teasing news here, and
it's officially official on the socials.
Yeah, on Facebook and everything else. Yeah.
Yep. So here is the big news for Door Disc Golf. So Door Disc Golf is moving from Door County, and we will probably move it September. We're hoping to be open and in the shop by Memorial Weekend, by Labor Day weekend. But I think that might be a bit ambitious. That's about 45 days. Or it's actually about 40 days from the time that we signed the lease. We are moving it to a larger shop. It is basically next to a disc golf course. It's a little 9-hole disc golf course, Perkins Park in Green Bay, and we're moving it down into Green Bay. And we're hoping just the year-round vibe will help keep the shop sustainable. Because the physical location is awesome, but we close down for basically, like, we roll up sidewalks in Door County for about 5 months, right?
Yeah.
So it really puts a damper on sales. So when we have costs that we have to, keep up with. So we are making that move. And we have big ideas. So we bought the full set of tech discs. So we will have a full set of tech discs in the shop. And we will have a designated area for the tech discs with throwing nets, pads, all that fun stuff. We will also have the ability to run indoor putting leagues.
That's cool.
We will have a mini course in the shop that will be registered on UDisc. And then, but we'll have so right now we currently have about 800 square feet, and that includes the bathroom space.
Yeah.
We will be moving into a shop that has roughly 2,200 square feet, including the bathroom space. So we will be, over the next month, we will be really bulking up our inventory. We'll be doing a couple custom runs for, just to celebrate the move. And then outside of that, we will do the big grand opening. What we might do is have it, so we have a flex at Pinecrest Park in Green Bay, really darn close to when we might open.
Oh, okay.
We'll open after that, but what we think we'll do is that, this is an idea being thrown around, is that whoever goes to that Pinecrest Flex will be part of our soft opening. So they will get access to the store prior to us opening officially.
Yeah.
But we're going to do it in one kind of big, swift move. So we're going to try to get basically everything out of our door disc location in Fish Creek, and we're going to push it all down to Green Bay. Darn it. Yeah. We'll push it all down to Green Bay, and hopefully within about 2 days we'll have everything set up and ready to go.
Oh, wow.
So the nice thing about moving there is that we have roughly probably 2,000 discs that sit in bins.
Yeah.
Underneath our display bins. And we plan on making sure that every single disc is displayed in this new shop. So there will be a lot of hanging area and hanging, like a slat wall. And we're going to basically hang everything up.
Okay.
So we look forward to it. I mean, and we're going to be very methodical on redesigning our website now. We're going to make sure that we're going to do something a little more closely related to what you really want to see, which is our weights. We're going to do profiles. So every disc is going to have, every single disc, and I'm 99% sure this is the direction, every single disc is going to have its own listing. And then we'll just categorize them inside the website. But everything will be good. So if you want to order something, you want like a 151 gram Halo Boss.
Yeah.
Which doesn't exist, but if you want one, and we have one, you can look that up and it'll pull it up.
Right
so that's what we'll do. And then in the shop, we will have I think there's a way, and I don't know if this is true. I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's true. So, but other than that, everything else is going to be good. So we're going to have baskets, bags. I mean, everything you could think of. We're going to have disc golf accoutrement. So we'll have, Max Wax. We'll have like all of those things. And then we'll probably have some little goofy, like, stickers and patches and all those type of things. I was able to find a place that we could buy like all kinds of goofy stuff like that, but they're all disc golf related.
Nice.
So I'm pretty excited about that. So we'll have a little area for stuff like that. And then we're going to do maybe a run of shirts. We haven't done a run of shirts in a long time.
Yeah.
Just because they just don't sell, you know. But we're always doing like really nice polos and like team shirts.
Yeah.
They just didn't sell. So we're just going to do some good old like t-shirts. Yeah. Disc golf t-shirts. Yeah. So, but pretty excited about it. No big changes, names or anything like that. It's just we're going to keep Door Disc open, keep going. And then if anything changes where we want to change the name or something like that or logo, we'll do that. But for the most part, we're going to keep her going because for the most, like, we have a good reputation, you know? So we plan on doing that. And then we're going to really hit the internet markets pretty hard to bring our online sales back up. Yeah. So, but I think outside of that, keep an eye out. You'll start seeing stuff populate onto our website here pretty shortly, probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, because we'll start seeing all that new inventory coming in, and we'll put it right on the website immediately. And then we'll have our grand opening, but I'll kind of give all the information as we're going. It's like all the new fun stuff. So I'm going to learn how to install turf inside.
Oh my gosh.
I have no clue how to do it, but YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is always a good thing.
A lot of glue, I'm guessing.
A lot of glue. Hopefully not too much that the turf just sticks down, like the top side of the turf. Yeah. But No, I know nothing about how to install carpet. Like I've never nothing. I've never tried that before. Like I've torn it out a lot. Never installed it before. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's really neat. The tech disc room is going to be like solo. We're going to have the computer for the tech disc.
Okay.
The tech discs, a throwing area, and then like a couple chairs. And it's all enclosed in this one room. Like it has glass.
Oh, wow.
Doors and windows, and it's inside the shop.
Oh, that's cool.
So like you'll be able to like come in, you'll rent that room and just throw your heart out.
Yeah.
So we're pretty excited about it. So we'll see. And then ultimately there will be a simulator as long as everything goes as planned.
Yeah.
We will buy a simulator and it'll be in there as well.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we're pretty excited about it. So I think it's going to be a nice place for people to hang out during the winter and have fun.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Kind of help build the community down there a little bit more. You know, it's a nice community down there. I just don't think they have anything to kind of,
sure,
put their arms around. So hopefully we can give them some put their arms around. So Play It Again won't like us, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
True.
I mean, and there's more than enough disc golfers down there to support both of the shops.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play It Again and us. So we shall see.
I mean, Play It Again has lots of other stuff that they
a ton of other stuff.
Whatever.
But have you been in that Play It Again in Green Bay in a while?
Absolutely.
They have they've dedicated almost an entire wall.
Oh yeah.
To disc golf now.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of stuff.
They do.
We went in there just recently, like 3 weeks ago. Took my daughter in there, and she was like, "It's like a resale shop for sporting goods." And I was like, "Yep." Yeah. And she was like, "I love this place." And I was like, "It's not that great, but yeah, it's cool." Yeah. So that's our big news. Move to Green Bay, but all of our everythings will stay the same. You still call, same number, email, same thing, and everything. So we're excited, and we'll still keep this thing going too, because I'm living up here still. I'm not moving down there. So, but yeah, we're excited, and as more and more details come out, we'll continue to share them.
Nice.
So keep an eye on the socials. So throw_disc_golf. And then night_owl_pod. Those are the Instagrams.
Wait, door_disc.
door_disc_golf. It's throw@doordisc.com.
Yeah.
Is the email address.
Oh, boy.
It's been a while since I've said those socials for some reason.
Yeah.
Man, oh, man. So there you go. Outside of that, do you have anything inspirational to leave us on?
No? Not right now.
No, not right now.
No,
okay.
No.
I got one.
Okay.
What's the most important book you've ever read in your life? Had the most impact in your life?
Oh, wow.
Aside from the Bible.
Oh, man. That's tough. Fahrenheit 451.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, man. I've read a lot of books. And I want to say one of the ones that is most recent on my mind, because I read it just recently, but there's a whole series called the Bobaverse.
Okay.
Like a gentleman's name, Bob.
Yeah.
And then universe, but you just take out the uni and put Bob there, so it's Bobaverse.
Oh, interesting.
It's a series, and it is essentially like a Walt Disney. So this guy has all this money, doesn't know what to do with it, and he decides he wants to freeze himself to be reincarnated later.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he goes and signs his contract, and lo and behold, I'll leave a lot of stuff out, but 150 years later or whatever, he gets revived.
Yeah.
And something he created 150 years ago, he is part of. So he essentially becomes this sentient being, like put into an AI.
Okay.
But it's his mind. And then they send him out into the universe to find inhabitable planets.
Oh, wow.
It's really cool.
Cool.
And it's funny. It's like,
okay.
It's like really like, because the way that it depicts AI and robotics, like, and how they kind of meld the two. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a Twilight Zone, like we're really close to doing these type of things.
Sure.
So it makes it just so close to be like so real, but it's so hilarious too, because the character himself, like the Bob, is hilarious. So
okay,
And then it ends up like going on and on about like reproduction and cloning, and like it goes like and all these different planets, and so it's really fun. But I was watching that, and I think the reason why I say it's most impactful is just because it's most recent in my mind.
Right.
If I were to say like something from my past, Animal Farm had a huge impact. Like, you know, it's so like cliche to say that, but like
Lord of the Flies. Like,
yeah, Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Those books are just like the Orwellian stuff, you know, and then also one that I've read, and like, I can't say I'm 1,000% on board with it or 100% on board with the book, but have you ever heard of Atlas Shrugged by
oh yeah,
Ayn Rand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was trying to think of
Amazing book. Like, I watched the movie with
the more recent.
Yeah, there was one. Tom Hanks was in one of them.
Yeah.
And then they kind of changed all the characters up for the next couple.
Yeah, they were going to do a series. It was going to be like 3 movies. And I think after the first one, they might have actually decided not to do the series.
Yeah, well, they finished the series.
Did they?
But
Okay.
they didn't finish it with the original actors.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Tom Hanks dropped out of it, and like
That could be.
it's a very like very political thing.
Yeah, right.
You know. And I was like, oh, this is really good. And I was really disappointed when Tom Hanks didn't come back. I was like, man, because he's great. And so I was like, I'll read the book, you know. And it took me that long. I'd heard about it so many times. That was it's long.
Yeah, it is a very long
It
book.
is so long. I think it's like 900 some pages or something like that.
It's up there with like Moby Dick.
Yeah. Oh, that was. So in high school, we had to read Moby Dick and Dracula.
Okay.
Oh, man, Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Like, it's the audiobook of our time. You know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Cliff Notes was awesome. Or Spark Notes.
Spark Notes. Well, same. Yeah.
Yeah, they were kind of basically the same thing. Yeah. And then my teacher caught me when I was reading Dracula. She's like, "You're reading the Cliff Notes, aren't you?" I was like, "Mm-mm." He's like, "You're reading the Cliff Notes." I was like, "Yeah." So it was what it was. So, all right. So nothing thought provoking then.
Yep.
All right. So I have one.
Okay.
When in doubt, wipe twice.
Ooh. Okay.
Or wipe again, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh boy.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. I think outside of that, keep it subpar and pay attention to all the fun and exciting new details we're going to have about the move.
Right on.
Deuces. Peace out. Bye. See you later. You got anything else?
No.
Okay, bye.
Bye.